Welcome in everybody to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is YouTube Live. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me is not a lesser Joe, but an equal Joe. Joe Orrico with me here. Joe, I don't know if you're really focused or you're just frozen to start the show. Knock once if you're frozen. Knock twice if you're just really excited. Oh, there he is. He's back, everybody.
I've been locked in, baby. I'm locked in on the blurb feed. I'm locked in on the rankings. You'll notice I'm wearing these old school headphones because one of my AirPods isn't working, but we are locked in. I've got my Enosaurus t-shirt on.
Whoa. Oh, that is an excellent shirt.
We're going to channel our Eno. So get your pitching questions in there. We are ramped and ready to go, baby.
This is the one time I could say to you live on air, hey, Joe, nice cans. And it's all right. I can still get away with it, and everything's perfectly fine. All right, we're here to take your fantasy baseball questions. I know some lunatics are drafting already, and I ask you why. Why are you doing this yourself? If you're going to do like best ball stuff, and that's cool. You want to do that now, but wait as long as you can. WBC has just begun, and there's going to be more injuries. There's more spring training. There's more MRI visits and second opinions that are going to happen. Don't draft so early. It's a crazy thing to do. Spend more time preparing. Draft as late as you can. That way you can get the healthiest team that you can. And speaking of preparation, we've got preparation for you. Next week, Wednesday, right here on the channel, Fantasy Fest is going to be live in your face. 2026. That's right, everybody. We are here, and we are ready to help you win all your leagues. The Welsh, myself, Joe Orrico, Ryan Wormley, and, of course, just amazing guests in the industry. Pianowski is going to be here. Lance Brodowski is going to be here. Jeff Pontes, one of the best in the business in terms of prospect watching. And then, of course, Caissie Bubba's going to join us, too. We're going to have a lot of friends hanging out here. We want you to be one of those friends. Join us live on the YouTube, youtube.com/fantasybrosmlb. Subscribe today. Ring the bell till it goes ding, and be with us for the fest. And if you miss the fest, it's okay. It'll all be on the YouTube channel, but join us at least for a live part of it. You can get some questions answered there, too. And, of course, after the fest on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be for the after party, where Joe Orrico, who knows what shirt he's going to wear there, him and Scott Bogner are going to talk a little fancy baseball there, do a little mock draft action. You could be in it. Oh, you're gonna wear the Scherzer for that one. How do you feel about that re-signing, by the way, buddy boy?
I like it. I like it as a depth piece. Obviously, he showed at the end of last year. He's not peak Scherzer anymore, but he can still get the job done. He's still like Game 7 of the World Series. The lights as bright as they're ever going to be, and he still gave a solid outing. So I'm not expecting him to give you 30 starts, but 15 to 20 starts throughout the year. I think he's a decent little fantasy streamer in the right matchup. Tough division. If it's a within division matchup, maybe not, but the Jays head to the Central and they got a couple series against the Twins or the Tigers. Like I could see Scherzer being a pretty decent streamer. And how do you get a Joe Orrico shirt? They do not exist at this point in time.
That's a shame. That's a shame. We got to change that in the shop. Shout out to, I see Van Rod, I see Lee, I see Joe in the chat. A lot of our friends here for the program. It's Wednesday at 3 p.m., by the way. That's when it kicks off Eastern Standard Time, just in case you're on a different coast. I mean, East Coast bias kind of fella. Let's get your questions. So drop them in here. Remember, super chats go to the front of the queue. So if you got a super chat, it'll be guaranteed to be answered. So if you do have some drafts coming up this weekend because you're nuts, we'll help you. Or if you just have some things you're trying to work out in life, we'll do our best to help you there as well. Let's see what we got here from the people here. I'll start with Lee. Oh, Lee G. Good to see you, Lee G. Feels like baseball again. Okay, I'm in an auction draft. $250 for 25 players. Elite studs go for 50 each. Would you rather keep Peralta at 12 or Hunter Brown for 20? This is easy for me. It's Peralta in 12, and it ain't close. Pitching for a contract year. 200 strikeouts last 3 years in a row. Like, I love Hunter Brown, but for the $8, I'd rather pocket it. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'll pocket it. I will say that Peralta's like 2.7 ERA last year was quite a bit better than it had been the previous few years. He's usually like a mid-threes guy, but even if you get a mid-threes ERA with 200 strikeouts, you save the $8. You can put that towards a whole other player. And Hunter Brown has his own concerns. Like, he's a very good pitcher, but the team around him isn't as great. They're probably not going to have Hader, so that bullpen will be a little bit harder to count on for wins once he leaves the game. The swinging strike rate is really the main thing for Hunter Brown, though. I think he could be like a 22, 23% strikeout rate guy. More average than you're getting from those other SP1s. So I'll take Peralta pretty happily.
We got our incredible team producing today, too. We got Sal producing. We got Michael Callie hanging out, running the chat. And, of course, you know it's Callie because he's like, in case you know, if you didn't know maybe, West Coast is the best coast. That's how you know Michael Callie's in the chat. And see, even everybody knows. Joseph knows. Joey knows. He knows what he's talking about there. All right, let's get some more of your questions. Again, keep dropping them in there. We're going to keep answering. Let's go to I. Davis. It could be Ike Davis, probably know. Yo, Fantasy Baseball Bros. Glad to be back. When is the first leading off show? Is it opening day? That's a great question there, Davis. I'm going to tell you. It might be before opening day, but opening day is going to be special this year because I will be in the same room as the Welsh. Joe Orrico will be frozen in Toronto somewhere because he looks frozen again. He's just every now and then you freeze for a second and you're very intense, and it's scaring me a little bit, Joe. I'm not gonna lie. But we were going to be live in Arizona. We are going to the game that night. Myself, Scott Bogman, and the Welsh. It's gonna be a good time. Cousin Donnie's gonna be there. So if you're in Arizona, you're going to that game. Find us, hang out with us, buy me a helmet Sunday, buy everybody else a beer. But yes, leading off, we'll be back soon. 5 days a week. And make sure you go to our Twitch to watch it live, twitch.tv/fantasypros. Subscribe there, but also, of course, it'll be on the YouTube on demand like it always is. All right, let's get more questions. Let's get to B. Morgan. Be more giant. And so it begins. So my bad reading of YouTube handles begins because I start sounding stuff out and it just goes downhill from there. 10 team, 6x6 with OPS. Ooh, I like the OPS sprinkle. Got Soto in the first, Chourio in the 7th. Do I go Tucker in the 2nd, Alonso in the 4th, or Burns in the 25th? I already got Neto in the 23rd and Skubal in the 6th. Ooh, Skubal in the 6th. My goodness. All right, Joe, where do you want to go for this last one? Tucker 2nd, Alonso 4th, or Burns 25th?
I'm kind of in on Tucker. I know that there's been some injury concerns the last couple of years, but in that lineup as still a relatively young guy, like I could see them giving Mookie and Freddie Freeman and Shohei the odd day off as they get older. Tucker amongst that crowd is still the young guy. I think he could play 155 games or so this year, barring any injury. Burns in the 25th is tempting, but I'm also not fully bought in on Burns. The price is totally right, but I would just take that locked-in offense with Soto and Tucker. And then you also got Zach Neto in the 23rd. You're looking pretty good there.
Yeah, look, I think because you've already got, Soto's a number 1 pick. He's a top 3 pick. Tucker's a great second-round value regardless. That's where he is anyway. So I just stick with that. I want the best players I can because this roster can win now. And look, Alonso in the 4th is not a terrible option. Burns in the 25th, I know it's a huge value. I don't know. I'm fine. I'd rather have one of those big power hitters. I think I'd lean towards Tucker, especially with the OPS situation. I mean, I guess you could look at it too. The power for Alonso is really big. So that slugging does enter into it. But, we are in the unknown territory with him. We don't know what he's going to do in that ballpark. The small sample size, very good. But, again, the pitching of the Orioles also has been very bad. So it's very difficult to know exactly how good that sample size is. Yeah. All right, let's get to Joseph N's question here. Who to keep in a 12-team head-to-head category league with 6 hitting categories? Runs, RBI, home runs, stolen base, batting average, and OPS. And we have Jackson Chourio for a 12th or Roman Anthony for a 19th. Ooh, I know my answer, Joe. What's yours?
I guess it's Anthony. I think it is Anthony, but I do worry a little bit about what to expect in this first year, home run wise. He hits a lot of balls on the ground. He hits the crap out of the ball, but he hits it on the ground a lot. And I think we could see a 22 home run season or something, which some people would think is disappointing. I think over the years, he will eventually start to raise the ball more. He's still so young, but Jackson Chourio is also a guy I think is going to be a superstar. I think he'll be a 30-30 guy perennially, but taking that huge discount on Anthony, I think makes sense here.
It's Anthony for me as well. It's a good 7-round discount. Yeah. And I don't think at the end of the day, their stats are going to be 7 rounds apart from each other. So that's where I'm at. Well done. Well done, Joe. All the Joes. That was Joe asking a question to 2 other guys named Joe on the same channel. Just want to point that out.
Italian fest.
I don't know. Joe might be Italian. I think Joe actually is of the Latin persuasion.
Okay, I know this Joe is definitely Italian. Joe G.
Joe G is definitely Italian because only an Italian will go by Joe G. How you doing? All right, Carroll already taking batting practice. Does he move into the first round? Orrico, where are you at with the Corbin Carroll latest ranking?
I can get behind it in a 15-team league if you're taking him at the end of the first round. I don't know if he's a top 12 guy for me, but I think he's a really good beginning of the second round pick. I worry a little bit about him and Lindor and even Jackson Holiday in terms of what the power is going to look like after the hamate injury. But Carroll's a guy who is I took him 5th overall in a draft a couple months ago. So getting him in that back end of the first, even though I'm not taking him top 12, I think once you get 13, 14, 15, he makes a really nice pairing if you are at the back end of the first round.
All right, so let's go through this. So where he is right now, Corbin Carroll, he is the consensus at 16 right now. So would you take Carroll over Tatis?
I think I would. I'm not a huge Tatis guy, though.
All right, I'm going to go through. So, right here, so if you're in a 15-team league, Tatis is 15. Cal Raleigh's 14. Kyle Tucker is 13. Then you got Garrett Crochet and Julio. So if it's a 12-team league, I would take Julio over him still. I would take Crochet over him still.
Yep.
Tucker's close for me, but I think, to be honest, there's a part of me that has a weird curiosity about Gunnar Henderson bouncing back more than any of these guys. But Corbin Carroll is in that conversation at 15-team league in the first round for sure. All right, let's go to J-Town's question. Are you guys bumping KC players because they moved in the fences? I'm not bumping them too much, but I think ADP isn't taking into account enough that bump. I think that Jack Caglione will figure it out because I think he's a really good player and he had the worst luck. If you watch last year, instead of just watching some of the box scores roll in, you saw a lot of balls he just scorched right into people's gloves. You saw a lot of weird stuff happen. I think it just mentally started to take its toll on him a little bit. So for me, Jack Caglione is a guy that I got my eye on. Obviously, Bobby Witt, it's a major premium cost for him. Pasquantino's been cheap. Michael Garcia, I don't expect a big boom in the power department from him necessarily. I think he is what he is at this point. But Pasquantino, I think, sustains, especially with that ballpark help, and Caglione, I think, grows. Joe Orrico, any thoughts on the Kansas City Royals?
Yeah, Vinnie P and Jack are the guys that I think will help the most. Also, maybe Carter Jensen a little bit. With Garcia, I worry a little bit about the power, so I actually like the fact that they're bringing the fences in a little bit. He's a ground ball guy who has a 5% barrel rate. I think he lucked into 16 home runs a little bit just based on the fact that he played a whole season. So moving the wall in helps me sleep a little easier at night thinking Garcia can get back to the double-digit home run total. I was a little bit worried about that, but Jack Caglione is one of my favorite players to draft this season. My boldest prediction of the year is that he will have a higher valuation at the end of the season than Nick Kurtz. That's my boldest take of the year.
It was well, that's pretty bold. I like it, but it's pretty bold.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. You keep freezing, and I think it was like interviewing somebody where it's just like a stagnant. It's like I have Jeff Passett on the show or something. It's just like a picture of him because he's in his car because he's much more important. He can't like stop everything in his life to do this show. So I feel like if you freeze again, we should throw up like a picture of the mascot of the Blue Jays or something, and just like put Joe Orrico analyst under.
Is
that.
my audio freezing too?
Your audio is fine. It's the video, which is just really funny.
Oh.
So I don't know if we can throw out the Blue Jay. What's the Blue Jay mascot name? Does he have a name? What's his name? Ace?
Ace, yeah.
Ace. There you go.
You got it before I did.
Information. I don't know where I pulled that out of my rear end. Don't even ask. All right, Big Dan's Vinnie P. Speaking of Vinnie P or Ben Rice. I'm team Vinnie P. I don't know where you are.
I'm team Rice because you can put him in the catcher spot, and getting that production from your catcher means a lot to me. I like both, and I don't have any problem taking Rice as your catcher, Vinnie P as your first baseman. But 1-to-1, I think I'd have to go with Rice. All
right, we got a lot of questions here. Again, just continuing here. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments in here. Super chats will go to the front. So if you have a super chat, we'll take that one first. I'll go right up to the top here of the queue. Let's start here. Let's go Joe's other question here. Would you prefer a 201 pick if you take Gunnar in the first, Jordan, outfield eligible, or who do you prefer? Pardon me. So Jordan, Vladdy, Ketel Marte, or Jackson Chourio if keeping Anthony. So if you're keeping Anthony, second base is so brutal. I like Ketel Marte quite a lot. We're talking about OPS in there too. What are your thoughts on this one? You go right to Vladdy, or you want to take the chance on Jordan Alvarez, or you want to take the tough position guy and Ketel Marte?
No, that would be a crazy price on Jordan. He's going like in the 30s and 40s. If you're taking him at 13th overall or whatever, that would be 16th overall. That's too much for me. I think it's Vladdy. I don't understand why Vladdy would be utility, especially like unless there's a keeper we're missing here or something. But I think Vladdy would be the best option in a vacuum. Second base sucks, but I do like a lot of those second base values. A couple of your guys in your neck of the woods, Polanco, Semien, I like Beatty. There are some deeper names that I like. I prefer Vladdy, I think, there, but I'm also wearing a Blue Jays hat, so there's that.
Superman Chi-Chi, Dylan Cease or Kyle Bradish or Soderstrom in the 6th round. So we got 3 choices here.
I think Cease is probably the safest bet. I like Soderstrom. 6th feels a little bit rich for my blood. Cease is going to give you the volume. With Bradish, I think he'll be good when he's out there, but he's thrown a combined like 65 innings the last 2 years. With Cease, you're getting close to 200 innings, and he's done the back and forth good year, bad year. He's due for a good year with a pitching coach in Pete Walker, who just a couple of years ago fixed the guy with this same type of profile in Robbie Ray, with the high walks, high strikeouts, same type of player. Obviously threw from the other side, but I think that Dylan Cease and Pete Walker are going to work well together in Toronto. So,
well, you would hope that the pitching coach can work with righties and lefties.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's like, could you imagine that interview? I'm only going to work with right-handed pitchers, though. I just want you to know when I come in here, that's all I'm going to do.
We just got Scooble. No.
Nope. Not going to work. I don't want to talk to him. Don't want anything piece of him. What about Randy Johnson? Nope. Screw that guy. No good. All right. good that he likes Cease as well there. All right, let's go to who do we have here? Appaloosa is here in a points league with 1 strikeout minus. Say Griffin, McGonigle are both announced as opening day starters. What do you think their ADP is, and who would you target? I know McGonigle has a crazy plate discipline. Look, they both look terrific. Connor Griffin, I watched a couple games of already. He is what they look like, man. He's a big boy, strong kid. I think it's less likely that he breaks the roster. I think it's more likely McGonigle does, which I know sounds crazy because McGonigle hasn't sniffed AAA either. Yeah. But McKinstry is the only thing holding him back, and I don't see that holding him back. I think both of them go well past the 200 ADP that they're going right now. But you do have to temper expectations because they are rookies and they will go through ups and downs. I know the other day on the show, I compared McGonigle stylistically. If you're old enough to remember this, Brian Giles is the player he reminds me of. Swing path looks very similar.
Great ball player.
He was, but you remember Brian Giles' swing too. Very specific kind of swing. Yeah. Very quick to turn on the ball. Lefty. Not a big guy either. Brian Giles was not a big dude. He was a strong kid when he was a youngin'. And he got a little stronger, maybe some special vitamins. I don't know. It was the 2000s. It was a crazy time. I was out of college doing crazy things. But Brian Giles is my comp for him. Connor Griffin, I don't know if there's a comp for him. Like he's just like an extraordinary guy. I think both of them would go much higher than they are now. Where's your cutoff though, Joe? Like if they make opening day roster, like I feel like you got to commit to them the rest of the season. So you could try. I mean, somebody struggles, you could set them down. It does happen, but I think I'm willing to jump in there, especially because of the playing the infield. It's such a infield's kind of weak this year, I feel like.
Yeah, the thing with them is, they're coming up as shortstops, but they're going to gain a lot of these guys. Maybe not Griffin, but McGonigle, Weatherholt. They're going to have other positions of eligibility. Mm-hmm. Probably second, which really does help us considering how bad it is this year. Griffin, I've seen his recent ADP, and this is not, you're talking about a points league. This is Roto. But last 2 weeks on the NFBC, it's 153. Kevin McGonigle over the last 2 weeks is 276. So I think they're both going to go up, but McGonigle and even Weatherholt, to throw him into this conversation as well, they are going to still represent the better values because Griffin is just getting hyped like crazy. If we get a contract extension announcement that he's made the opening day roster, you're going to see like a top 75, maybe even higher ADP on him. When Volpe
moved them up in the Black Book rankings too. And to your point, Joe, I think that ranking of Connor Griffin skyrocketed after that 2 home run game he had. Yeah. And that's also not something we should be doing. Like spring training too. Like not get crazy, but like he does look great. There's no doubt about that. He is a special player. He's number 1 for a reason. It's not like Jurickson Profar when he was number 1. When he was the number 1 overall prospect?
He is such a moron. I can't even believe it. Like, what is wrong with that guy? $36 million or something he pissed away or something along those lines. Like, I don't know, Joe. I don't know. If somebody gave me $36 million, I simply wouldn't take PEDs for 3 years, but that's just me.
Fair enough. Not me. I can't lay off him no matter what. No matter how much money you pay him. I'm on him right now. Lee G, if the choice is between Acuna and J-Ram, who do you take? I have Caminero, but we play with an extra corner. I think there's something to be said for the steady Eddie of J-Ram. If you are just a little concerned about that, I'm okay with J-Ram going over Acuna still. So if it's a 4 or 5 active outfielder league, though, that would change it. If it's a deeper league, it would change it. Like if it's a 15-team league where you're playing 5 outfielders, I would take Acuna because I do think it's just, by the time you get that deep in outfielders, an advantage there. But other than that, if it's just a 12-team league, 3 outfielders, play Caminero at corner and play J-Ram at third. I'm good with that. How about you?
The fact that you have Caminero makes it less of a priority to back it up with another third baseman. So I'd understand going either way. I'm more bought in on Acuna as the days go by. The speed that he showed in the Winter League, he's stolen at least 1 base in the spring. He's hitting home runs. I don't know if we're getting peak Acuna, but I think we're getting a good Acuna. And with Ramirez now into his mid-30s on a really bad team, I don't think it's going to be a bad season for him, but I think it's a reasonable conversation to go either way. At this point, I'm leaning more slightly to Acuna, especially if you have Caminero already.
Look at Bizarriza Jizza. I do remember when she took
over Judge.
She did.
Wow.
She did.
She's
bold. A Midwestern gal. What do you expect?
That's bold. That's very bold.
Look, at the end of the day, he's going to have, the stolen bases to go along with it. Look, I understand. This is a good question here. I'm glad this was brought up because we haven't talked about him on the show at all. Birch McCallum wants to know, is Matt McLain's hot spring for real? Just so you know, in case you missed it, 4 home runs, 11 RBI, 646 batting average, and a 1412 slugging, and a 2.112 OPS. It's just 6 games, 20 plate appearances, but he's got 11 hits and 10 runs scored. He has been red hot, 11 RBI. Matt McLain's been ripping the ball. Look, Matt McLain a couple years ago was a Rookie of the Year contender. Matt McLain got hurt. It's been a long road back for him to kind of find himself again. He's not a perfect player, but I do think Matt McLain, ADP wise, Joe, is still intriguing. Do you find him such?
I think I'm in on him. The fact of the matter is second base is so bad that he's still being drafted as a starter. Like by ADP, he's like the 11th.
He's the 20th still second baseman going off the board in ADP consensus, by the way.
That's crazy. He should be higher than that. I mean, that's kind of wild to me. He should be closer to like 15, I think.
I would agree with that. But here's the thing. So here we go. Let's play the game. Here we go. Playing the game. Would you take him over the guys going ahead of him? Would you take Brendan Donovan over him?
No.
Me neither. Jose Caballero?
No.
Jorge Polanco?
Yes, I'm a big Polanco guy.
I would take Polanco over him too. Gleyber Torres?
No, but I'd understand it. He's pretty steady Eddie. You know what you're getting with Torres. With McLain, I mean, McLain was benched last year. He was that bad. So I could see going either way on that one.
Bryson Stott?
See, this is the interesting one because we did the ADP battles the other day with Rob Silver and Vlad Sedler, and I put them together, McLain and Stott, and they each chose one. Vlad Sedler went with Matt McLain. Rob Silver took Bryson Stott.
So you're right. He should be 15 then.
Stott provides the better floor, but McLain has an infinitely higher ceiling. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for at that point of the draft. If you're looking to catch up on steals and you need a second baseman, Stott is a really solid pick in a good lineup. McLain does have that fluctuation where he could be sitting. We don't even know.
He could. It's crowded. You got Marte, you got Suarez, you got all these guys there now. You know, the infield Stewart, a lot of guys. But I will say this at 20, and I think we always say this, Joe, or maybe I just say it, that spring training doesn't mean anything except for the guys it means everything for. And Matt McLain's one of those guys that like needs to have a good spring so he can solidify a spot going in. Yeah, because it is a little crowded house right now.
One thing I will say is just looking at the home run leaders from spring training last year. They were Rhys Hoskins, Matt Chapman, Vinnie Capra, Austin Wells, Trace Thompson, Gavin Sheets. So it's not always the guys who hit a bunch of home runs in spring are going to carry that over. Just take it with a grain of salt as well.
I like to take everything with a grain of salt. Big fat grain of salt. That's what I want. All right, let's go to James' question here. Brian Wu for $2 or Caminero for 15. We only get one keeper for up to 3 years at draft cost. And it's 5x5 quality start set. You know what? I know it's a huge discount, but I just prefer it. If you only get one guy, I'd rather be a position player, even though Wu's cheap. That's just me. You can lock in $15 Caminero for 3 years. I think it's a value.
I have my worries about both of them. I think Wu isn't necessarily out of the woods with the injury troubles he had from the last couple of years, and Caminero, I worry a little bit going back to the Trop, what he's going to look like, but I think I agree with you. I think I would take the hitter, even though he struggled on the road last year. I think he's a 40 home run bat perennially, and Wu gets propped up by that ballpark a lot. If he gets hurt or if he has a long stretch of playing like 3 or 4 straight games on the road, you'd have a reasonable argument for not wanting to start him, which I know sounds crazy, but if you look at the home and away splits the last few years, he really benefits from that park.
Van Rod is back here with a question. In a 10-team, 2-keeper head-to-head points league, would you give up keeping Witt for a cheaper player in order to have money to get Judge? Well, there's no guarantee you're gonna get Judge. You're gonna get a pissing match for Judge. See, that's a trick thing. It's the bird in the hand versus the one in the bush, or I just make a Welshism here. Or bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. That's it. I'm gonna say if I've got Witt, I just keep him instead of trying to chase Judge, because Judge is gonna be a $60 player.
Yeah, I think Witt's just about as good, and he's not going to cost as much because in the average league,
he's also younger.
Yeah, and I think also the name recognition hasn't caught up with Bobby Witt yet. He's a superstar. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be a Hall of Famer, but I don't think the average baseball fan really recognizes it yet. He is.
Hall of Famer already.
I think he is. I think he's on that track.
All right, Soderstrom over Eury Perez in the 7th. No.
Depends on the roster build. It really depends for me. If you have 3 pitchers already, then no. If you don't have any pitchers and you've started with a bunch of hitters already and you need a pitcher, I don't have any problem going Eury there. It does come down to roster construction, which I know is a cop out, but it does.
I want Eury. We should call this show Between Two Joes. That's what we should call this. That'd be a fun. J-Town. Will the Pirates unleash Bubba Chandler this year? Well, they have no choice now, but yes.
I think they will.
Although I'm still not sold that he's a quote finished product yet.
The command is still a bit of an issue. He walked 3 guys. I mean, everybody talking the other day, or maybe it was yesterday, 5 strikeouts, 13 whiffs. He still walked 3 guys. And throughout his time in the minors, that had been a huge problem. If you look at last year in the majors, it was like a 3% walk rate. But part of the reason he didn't get called up until the end of the year was because he was walking 3 or 4 guys every day. I'm confident, but they're not. He's not without his flaws and his risks as well. And Pittsburgh, who knows what Pittsburgh's going to do? He can start the year in the minors for all we know, and he won't. But I'm being facetious. But who knows what Pittsburgh's going to do with any player at a given time? He should have been up in April of last year. So don't count your chickens with Bubba Chandler, but I am very confident.
Here are the pitchers going around Bubba Chandler. This is why I won't have Bubba Chandler. Mackenzie Gore, Trevor Rogers, Sandy Alcantara, Drew Rasmussen. Those are the 4 closest pitchers to him. I'll take all those guys over Bubba Chandler, and it's not close. Now, after that, Robbie Ray, Ranger Suarez, Shota Imanaga, Tanner Bybee. Okay, Imai is intriguing to me. But if those other guys, if I can get one of those first 4 guys, it's a no-brainer for me. By the way, Chi-Chi, thanks for going out and buying the Blacklist. Still plenty of time, by the way. I just updated the RPV cheat sheets as well. So if you haven't already, go to Amazon, go get the Fantasy Black Book. Joe Rico, Welsh, Kirby, myself, all the contributors to it. So get our thoughts on all the players. It was recently updated, and the new RPV I just did yesterday and sent out. So if you want that, you can get the cheat sheets too for $5. It's real easy. Just send them all their way. Appreciate you supporting the brand, supporting those small business owners. Me, the small business owner. All right, better rookie, Owen Caissie or Bryce Eldridge?
I'd probably take Bryce Eldridge. I'm not really sold on Caissie, which is odd considering he is a Canadian, and I tend to favor the Canadian guys, but I'm not fully sold on him. Tons of strikeouts. I think he'll have a pretty regular role, but the plate skills I'm not fully sold on yet. He had a 20% hard hit rate in his time at the majors last year. You're not going to believe the swinging strike rate. It was 24%. And I know it's a small sample size, very small sample size, but I think he's far from a finished product.
Kristian Campbell was red hot last year. How'd that go? Lee, that's a great point. But by the way, Kristian Campbell, not hot this year in spring. I don't know if have you seen the numbers on Kristian Campbell? Just curious.
I haven't. No, are they that bad?
Well, they're not good. 18 plate appearances, 7 games, hitting a $176 with a 2.22 OBP, a 2.94 slugging, and a 5.16 OPS. Not great. No homers, no steals. Not great. No runs batted in. Nothing.
He'll be up at some
2 doubles.
Point. He'll be up at some point because they paid him.
Yeah. Mookie Betts, he is not, unfortunately. All right, Michael. Here we go. Yeah, this is a real OG. Michael knows. Tommy Edman or Kevin Gossman. We're back, boys. Kevin Gossman all day. And I was right about it last year, and I'll be right about it again this year, okay? Tommy Edman or
Edman's hurt,
Gossman.
Too. Edman's not going to start the year healthy. I mean,
that was hilarious last year, right? That was one of my favorite bits from last year's shows.
Which one?
Well, there was a live show that Welsh and I used to do here on YouTube. And we got into a big kerfuffle about who was the more valuable fantasy asset just in a vacuum, Kevin Gossman or Tommy Edman. And I just about lost my mind. I was like, how can you compare Kevin Gossman, who is a guy who makes 30 starts every year, pitching is a nightmare. Sure, he's had some rough patches, but he is at least an above average starting pitcher. And Tommy Edman's just an easy guy to replace, I feel like. Tommy Edman's not special. And I love the throwing around the not special. It makes people upset.
The only thing special is the Dodgers factor. And I agree with you. Like, he's nowhere near Gossman in terms of valuation. That's it. It doesn't.
Oh, here we go. I know this is for this Joe. This question: are you taking Leiter over? Oh, you ask me. Go ahead, Joe Rico. You host.
Are you taking Jack Leiter over Bubba Chandler this year, Joe?
Excellent question. I think Jack Leiter is the better return on investment. I'll be honest.
Get out of here.
I do. I know he's got the rotation spot. I already know he's been up in the big leagues longer. I know he's made some adjustments. I don't love him still, but I think Bubba Chandler is still a much bigger work in progress than everybody wants to admit. So that's my answer. Probably the answer is probably neither, but go ahead, clip it. That's right. Clip it. So everybody can love it. I can't wait to get Jack Leiter on the show one day too. I shared a train with his dad and him and a bunch of his friends years ago into New York City from New Jersey. True story.
Mark, Al, Jack, the whole crowd.
The whole crowd. All the lighters were there.
Even Bick.
Marcus Valdez. Could WC make anyone jump? Yes, of course they could. The question is who can make jump up there? Nobody on the American teams, I would say, because they're already all superstars.
I don't think there's much that I can read from it. Like if somebody goes out there against one of the premier pitchers in the world and does something of note, let's say that they do. It's still one game, right? So somebody faces Scooble and they hit 2 home runs off of him. I think it's more noise than signal. I really do. It's just not big enough of a sample size to read much into it. But that's how I see it.
I'll tell you one scenario. If Nolan McLain gets to be the pitcher in the finals and pitches really well and it's on a big stage and everybody sees him, he'll bump up a little bit more.
He's already so expensive.
He is, but I'm telling you, it'll get more expensive because he's a New York guy and all that stuff.
I can see it.
All right, let's go to Carney. I'm in a 20 keeper, 12 team categories OBP league. I got the 11th pick. If Trout or Okamoto made it to me, who would you prefer?
I'm not really into Trout anymore. I think like last year we saw him stay healthy and yet still he was like the 55th outfielder for the season, even though he was mostly there the entire year. Okamoto is kind of an unknown as well, but it's a much better lineup. You're getting, I think, a tougher position to fill in third base, and he's also probably going to get first base throughout the season as well. Most people won't like it, but I'll take Okamoto.
12 team categories OBP league. What was the Trout OBP last year?
Probably pretty good. He still walks.
Decent, right? I think I would take the devil I know instead of the devil I don't. I'll take Trout in the OBP league, especially because you're in a 20. It's a 20 team keeper already. So like, I'm not keeping him next year probably anyway. I mean, I don't know if Okamoto would make. Maybe he would, but I'm just trying to win this year. All right, let's go to another Joe question here. How do you rank Schlittler, Michael King, Pepio, and Lodolo in a quality start league? Joe, do you have an order for these guys?
Pepio, Lodolo, King, Schlittler, I think.
I agree. That's actually my order as well. Close, though. It's a close order. I could see King being the look. The only reason King isn't one is because of the health of last year. It's just simple stuff. Maxwell, keep William Contreras in the 5th, Freddy Peralta in the 5th, or one of Lugo, Steele, Grayson in the last round. Nope. No. I'm keeping Freddy Peralta in the 5th, baby. Let's go. Let's roll.
If it's a 2-catcher league, I'd be tempted to go William, but standard format, I think it's Freddie. Those other 3 at the end, forget about it.
Freddy Peralta gets 0 credit. Like
he's really good. He's really good.
Seems to care.
The only thing with Freddy Peralta is that before last year, the ERAs were 3.68, 3.86, 3.58, which is not quote unquote
so what
ace like. Well, if you're getting a 3.86 ERA for your SP1, it's not amazing.
I know the 3.58 and the 3.68 are okay. The 3.86 I think is the outlier, and I think the 2.70 is the outlier. And I'm sure we get back into the mid threes again. Yeah. But the whip is 104, 112, 122, 108. Strikeout totals 210, 200, 204 the last 3 years. I mean, I don't know what more this guy's got to do. 30 starts, 32 starts, 33 starts. Like, that's the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
Find me guys making 30-something starts, striking out 200 guys, because they don't grow on trees anymore. They just don't. Is Dylan Cruz worth keeping in a dynasty league? I think you're selling rock bottom now if you get rid of him. That's what I think. So I guess you would just keep to hold on to see if he's a guy that I would hold to see if it gets better, and then I would move him because I'm just not there on the player. I know Welsh likes him. Orrico, what's your take on Cruz?
I mean, even in a bad season where he hit 208, missed half the year, 10 homers and 17 steals as a rookie, like he does have a lot of potential fantasy juice. This could be a guy who goes 20, 35 someday. It depends on the number of keepers. If you got like 3 keepers or something, no. But I think in standard dynasty leagues, like he's not anywhere close to a cut or a sell for me at this point.
Trey Turner or Mookie Betts, Joe? This is from Kyle.
Trey Turner by a mile.
By a mile? Wow.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I like Mookie.
I'm buying Mookie everywhere, though. I get Mookie in the 4th round every draft we do. I'm just like, okay.
Turner's just become this guy that just feels so perennially undervalued with the batting average, with the lineup he gives you, with the speed. I'm a big Turner guy.
Yeah,
he won the batting title last year.
Yeah. Well, Turner's still solid. I would probably still take Turner. I don't know about by a mile, but yeah. Where in the world is Corbin Carroll, X-Plug, still best bits? Yeah, look, we do good bits here. You know, you come for the baseball, you stay for the bits. That's what you do. We got another Joe. Oh my God, so many Joes here today. Who's the best sleeper? Will Warren, Ryan Nelson, or Joey Cantillo? Rank them.
Cantillo, number 1. Actually, no, Ryan Nelson, number 1. He's already done it. He already did it over a full season last year. The stuff is electric, great fastball. And then I'd follow it up with Cantillo and then Will Warren, a distant third there.
I just like guys named Ryan, you know?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it took me a long time to figure out that Ryan Sandberg was not Ryan Sandberg. Like it took me a good couple years, and I didn't understand it. It still made my head hurt.
If I did a poll on Twitter right now and said, "What's the first name of the Sandberg who played for the Cubs?" half the people would probably say Ryan.
Yes, but they also use your instead of you are with the apostrophe. So
This is
people
true.
are morons, Joe. Morons. All right, Orrico, where you at with Shane Baz this season?
Shane.
See, look, here's Randy doesn't. It's not where you at. Where are you at? See, I just proved my point, Randy.
Look, I think Shane Baz.
It's too late.
I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's also far from a finished product. I think the walks are still a problem. The strikeouts haven't been where they were in the first year or so of his career. Now, the splits last year were pretty eye-popping. If you look at what he did at home, it was a 5.90 ERA in that little tiny ballpark, 3.86 on the road. So getting out of that park, I think will benefit him. But he is still a project. He's not a guy that I would draft and be sure that I'm getting 30 fantasy starts in my rotation from. I think you got to have depth before you take a Shane Baz. He's like a seventh starting pitcher, I think.
Let's play the game. Here we go. Shane Baz, 63rd pitcher off the board in consensus, 207 overall. Zach Gallen or Shane Baz?
Shane Baz.
Oh, I'll take Gallen. Matthew Boyd or Shane Baz?
Baz.
Shane Bieber or Shane Baz? Pick a Shane.
Bieber's not going to start the year in the rotation. I'm really worried about this fatigue stuff. I'm taking Baz there.
Aaron Nola or Shane Baz?
I'll take Nola.
I'll take Nola too. How about Shane McClanahan or Shane Baz? You know, 3 Shanes between 203 and 222 pitching, by the way. That's crazy.
I'm not fully sold on McClanahan. I'll take Baz.
What wouldn't sell you on a guy who hasn't pitched in 2 years? Why ever would you be concerned? Fred Dinger. It's a great afternoon when you get a cup of Joe's. That's right. Any Shane Smith love? Yes, I do like Shane Smith. I had actually Shane Smith in a deeper league last year, and I was very pleased that I did because he was just a nice little pitcher. Obviously, quality starts better than wins. Not a lot of wins there for the White Sox. But yeah, Shane Smith I think is decent, and I think, look, the White Sox are not going to be quite the doormat I think they were recently. I think they've got some young talent starting to come through there a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to win a lot more games, but I think they're going to be more competitive, Joe. That's my take. What's yours?
Spore said to me the other day, they're not historically bad anymore. They're just regular bad. So I think that you could see like 8 or 9 wins at him. I mean, he won 7 games last year, which is not great, but only a couple more to get into that double-digit realm. He was really good. And I think the main thing that'll hold people back is the lack of strikeouts. It was only a 23% strikeout rate, but all throughout the minors, big strikeout numbers from Shane Smith. I'm not saying that's been unlocked necessarily. And in his 4 2/3 spring innings, he has 2 strikeouts, nothing to write home about. But I think there is more upside here with Smith. He was really, really good and really undervalued as a rookie.
All right, good takes there. A nice little pitcher is a must-describe pitcher this season. Is a much-described pitcher. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nice little pitchers. That's what we're trying to do. Got not overpay for pitching if we can. Joe G, because they get hurt all the time. Gets hurt all the time. Which first 2 to start in a 12-team roto? Vladdy, Jazz, Vladdy, Chourio. How do you want to start your league? Or C, Jazz, Chourio.
I'm going with Vladdy and Chourio there. I'm going Vladdy, Chourio. I think that's the best way to go, Giuseppe.
It's definitely not C. I can tell you that.
No.
It's not C for me. It's between A and B.
With B, you get the batting average floor into the 260s, 270s at least. You get the speed with Chourio. You get the good lineups for both. I think it's B for me.
Am I going to get 30 steals out of Chourio? I'm going to get 30 steals out of Jazz.
You're going to get like 20-something at least out of Chourio, I think. Now, Jazz does come with 2nd and 3rd eligibility, which is a big boost. Too. But
I think I lean A, but I'm not mad at B. Like, B, I think, has the bigger upside. Like, if Vladdy has a bigger power season. That would be the other thing, too. Like, Vladdy's powered. It wasn't like a 40 home run season for Vladdy or anything like that.
No, it was awful. It was 23. But the 8 in the playoffs. 8 in the playoffs, I think, is going to have people dreamcasting that he can, build upon the postseason performance. But he's still, like a lot of guys we've talked about this year, ground balls are still an issue for Vladdy.
All right, who wins the WBC? Joe Orrico?
I'm going to say the Dominicans. I
think the Dominicans have the most fun. I think it's either the Dominicans or it's actually us this year. I think this team is very good. When you got Skeens and Schoolboy, I think you got a real shot there.
If you look at the pitching in 2023 versus now, it's like, holy crap. Like, it was what Kyle Freeland was the ace in 2023 or something. No shade, but now you get Schoolboy, Skeens, Webb. Yeah, it's night and day.
And McLain in there too. I know Joey P hates closers. I do. It's not that I hate closers. I just hate paying for them. Yeah. That's it. Because they're free. Why would I want something I'm paying for something when I can get it for free. But where do you think Devin Williams will have a decent season or fold like a cheap suit? Devin Williams had like a bad 6 weeks. Like I am so tired of everyone just taking their shots on him, and it was exasperating because he was new, because he was a Yankee, because all that stuff, and like it's in New York, so everything that goes wrong is going to go wrong tenfold. But pretty much once we got into June, he kind of was back on track, and he was really good. He just kind of lost the job for a while there. So, you know, look, I'm going to say that, look, I drafted Devin Williams yesterday in the mock draft that we did. So I'm pretty good right now. So that's where I am. I think Devin Williams, I'm in on him as ADP. That's the best thing I can say.
I've taken him a few times. I took him in the TGFBI draft the other day. I really like, if you're looking at ERA, I think it's a mistake at this point in time. Teams are not looking at ERA to evaluate players. In fantasy, it's not predictive at all. The 4.79 he had last year, I'm throwing it away. The previous 3 years, 1.25, 1.53, 1.93. The strikeouts are still intact. The command actually got better last year. He had been a 12% walk rate. He got it down below 10. The whip is still good. The stuff is great. He doesn't have the pressure of pitching for the Yankees anymore, and now he's accustomed to pitching in New York. I think that he is, of all the closers, costs considered, he's the best bargain on the board this year.
All right, we want to shout out our sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. Today's show is brought to you by Hard Rock Bet, and if you haven't tried yet, make your first bet over on Hard Rock Bet. There's still time for you to get 150 in bonus bets. If you win, just place a $5 bet. If it hits, not only do you get your winnings, but you get 150 in bonus bets. So download the Hard Rock Bet app today and make your first deposit. And don't forget, we've also got the Big Black Beautiful Fantasy Baseball Trophy to give away as well. So if you want to take a chance to win the crown jewel of any fantasy baseball league, the Black Fantasy Baseball Trophy, courtesy of our good friends at Trophy Smack, the #1 destination for epic fantasy sports hardware. This is your shot. This stunning black trophy features high-quality metal columns. It sits on a 19-year perpetual base made of solid gold, maybe not solid gold. You can engrave your league champion year after year. It's not just a prize, it's a legacy piece. And if you want to enter to win this, all you have to do, subscribe to Fantasy Bros MLB. That's it. That's all you got to do. And drop a comment below on this or any video. So if you're watching it back, it still counts. If you're watching it live, still counts. That's it. And we'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel. So when you subscribe, ring the bell till it goes ding so you never miss a piece of content on the channel, and you can claim your prize of the Fantasy Baseball Trophy giveaway from Trophy Smack. That's a good looking trophy too. Not gonna lie, the glove. I like that one, Joe. I like that. All right, we got your mic here situated. I think now Suarez or Iglesias from Jacob here.
So am I sounding okay? Is there any mic trouble going on right now? Should
it's
be
getting
all right.
better as you go.
Apologies, like guys. Apologies, guys. That's like me getting better with age, just like me and just like Joey P.
Well, that's true.
Suarez, I think, is becoming the better value in drafts. I don't really want to draft Iglesias where he's going just because of they took him out of the role last year. There's precedent for the Braves to remove him from the role. They gave Suarez the 3-year deal. I think the plan is to transition, whether it's this year or over the next year slowly, that Suarez is going to have that job. Now, Suarez is no spring chicken himself, but he leads the league in saves over the last couple of seasons. I think he is the more dependable arm between the two. The Braves have indicated they want Iglesias to start the year as the closer, but taking Suarez where he falls, because he does fall. If you're looking at recent drafts, I think you're still looking at like a 250 plus ADP for Suarez. So I think that he is definitely the better bargain at this point. Iglesias is kind of a stay away for me.
Here's a fun one for Orrico. Marcus wants to know, does Eloy Jimenez make the Jays after the spring he's having?
No, he won't make the Jays. It's a fun story. I think that there's still maybe some potential for him down the road, but there's no spot on the roster for him at this point. They're not going to give Davis Schneider's job away as the right-handed bat on the bench as the infielder. And Miles Straw is one of the best outfielders in baseball still, but he's a terrible bat. But he's there for defense. Eloy is maybe the worst defender in the whole world, and the bat hasn't even been that good over the last couple of seasons. Injury problems. He's a lottery ticket. If you're in like a 50-round draft and hold and you take him in the 50th round, okay. But I wouldn't expect much.
All right, fair enough. Maybe somebody else comes knocking though. It's a good spring. There will be injuries.
Yeah.
Could certainly. I could see a team going out there on those lower rung teams, going out there making a little play on Eloy Jimenez. Maybe we'll see. Kyle, rank Fried, Brown, Valdez, and Peralta. I'd love the trophy for my Dynasty League. Well, of course you would. Well, we know you're a subscriber already, Kyle. So just keep dropping the comments, and hopefully one of these you'll win. All right, Fried, Brown, Valdez, Peralta.
I go Brown,
Yep.
Fried,
Yep.
Peralta, Valdez.
Yep. That's the correct answer. Joe, you win a prize. Oh, it's the big trophy with the cool glove on top of it. Thunderstud is here. Look at Thunderstud hang out. Welcome back, Joes. Welcome back, Thunderstud. Good to have you here. 16-team dynasty, $1 Cade Horton or $8 Nick Lodolo. Look, man, I just think Lodolo's a better pitcher. I'm just gonna keep it real. I know it's a $7 difference, and I know money matters. I have extreme concerns about Cade Horton this year. He's not a big strikeout guy. So I'll take the $8 Lodolo. If it was like a $12 Lodolo, I would probably go out, just give me Cade Horton. But it's only $7 difference. I don't know. I like Lodolo a lot as a pitcher, and I like what he did last year in the progress that he made. Joe, Lodolo for that price or Cade Horton for his?
I'm taking Lodolo, but I would warn people to be a little bit nervous just about the home run potential for him this year. 126 homer 9 last year, and he fills up the zone. Like 54% of his pitches are in the zone, which is one of the highest marks in baseball. In that park, it scares me a little bit, but it's still a really good price for him.
All right. Again, if you're watching here, like this video as well. It's literally the least you can do. It takes 2 seconds. Just hit that little like button. It helps gets us some views over on the Fantasy Pros MLB channel. We're trying to get to 30,000 subs. So it's the first time watching too. Go subscribe to the channel. We're here every day in season, talking baseball. We appreciate you. Look, there's begging. Don't beg. Don't be desperate, Callie. Don't be desperate. Just appeal to the better natures of everybody, the better angels of everyone. All right. Let's go to Joseph. Do you guys prefer Chase Burns, Kyle Bradish, Nolan McLain, or Eury Perez? I like Eury Perez the most. Nolan McLain very close second for me. And then it's Bradish, and Burns is distant for me still. Burns is also another one for me that I think is not quite ready for me.
Well, I think people are forgetting that he had the injury at the end of last season too.
Oh, I'm not.
The flexor strain. But I feel like the community in general, though, is like, wheels up, Chase Burns. He's a top 100 pick. Let's go.
Him and Mizorowski, my two biggest Tommy John candidates for this year.
And for whatever reason, Mizorowski is 30 picks later. So if you like that profile, take Mizorowski, I guess. But I'm going to go Perez, Bradish, McLain, and then the last name. Who was the last name there? It was
Eury Perez. McLain,
no, Perez,
Eury Perez.
Perez, Bradish, McLain, and then
Joe Orrico.
And then Joe Orrico coming in at the caboose.
Yeah, he's in the caboose. No, who was the other one? I can't remember who it was. We'll throw it back up there. When you're all doing predictions for MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, we have our must-have show recording on Monday, so that's a good one. So make sure you check that out. I don't know when we're going to do those predictions necessarily. Predictions on Cole Reagans, I believe, or Cole Rafins, either one. Cole Rafin sounds like a folk singer from the 70s.
So Reagans does have a lot of injury risk, but when he was out there last year, he was outstanding. He had the best strikeout minus walk rate, best Sierra, best expected FIP of any pitcher in the league last year who threw 60 innings. So I think that he is priced completely reasonably. Usually as an SP2 you can get him, but I think he's closer to an SP1. So there's a lot of volatility here, but I'm in. I'm buying into Reagans.
He's having a slow spring.
It's bad.
It's bad, but again, there's some guys it doesn't matter for.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys that the worst spring he has. I'm actually more interested in him because if he starts to drop a little bit because of it, I'm more intrigued. Cole Rafins was character in King of the Hill. I never watched King of the Hill. That was not one that I watched. I'm a big animated guy too. Like I like, love Rick and Morty. South Park's probably my all-time favorite program. But in King of the Hill was that. I'll tell you what I did watch recently. Just wrapped it, first season. I assume there's a second one because the way it ended. House of Guinness. Did you watch House of Guinness on the Netflix? Oh, tremendous program.
It's about actual Guinness? It's about Guinness?
It's about the family and the succession line after the father dies and then all of the family having to take on the legacy. So it's done by the same guy who did Peaky Blinders, and Peaky Blinders are one of my all-time favorite shows. So if you enjoy that style and you're looking, I know Peaky Blinders is we got the finale coming actually today. In theaters you could see it, and then later in the month you can watch it on TV. But if you're looking for a fix there and you like that show, House of Guinness this weekend. 8 episodes.
Guinness is my beer. It's not even technically
I'm
beer.
a Guinness guy too.
Guinness is my drink. Guinness is my drink.
You're a man. Because you're a man.
Guinness and Jameson. Guinness and Jameson. You'd think I was Irish. You think the O was apostrophe before Rico.
Look, man,
nope. Eat
Italian, drink Irish. That's what you do.
That's the way to go.
There you go. Let's see if we can squeeze in a couple more here. Where do I... Yeah, you don't have an anime pick. And by the way, I have this year, don't tell Welsh, but we took a picture, me and him, over in New Orleans on the team trip. And last year he did me dirty with that stupid anime AI thing. So I'm going to do the same thing to him this year. I'm going to send it to Callie, and he's going to go work on that. And I want ugly Welsh. He made me so ridiculously. I mean, it's hard because I'm such a handsome man. But boy, he did it. He did me dirty. All right, year 3 for Langford. Is this the breakout season? Look, I think we're getting real close. I think it could be. And the breakout's a 30-30 season. That's what it's not a major improvement. It's just that next level of consistency. That's all he has to do.
I'm fully bought in on the talent. My only concern is the repeated oblique hamstring side injuries,
Yeah,
but the talent is without question. Like, I'm not a big baseball reference guy, but he had like 7 WAR on Baseball Reference. He's a legit ball player. He 4 wins on Fangraphs. This guy's a legit ball player.
All right, let's get to 1 or 2 more here. Nate Dogg, I did a trade already. Wow. I gave away Devers and Perez. Ugh. I got Machado and Hunter Green.
Oh. Bagpipe time.
All right, Nate. You know, it's a tough one. Like, I get it. A week ago, you're looking at this, and you're saying, hey, Hunter Green's going to, strike out 220 guys. And, it's just really difficult to trust. Now, he says it doesn't feel like he used to. Did we get an update on him today in the last couple hours? Because I've been doing other things and been doing football stuff, too, so I don't remember.
I don't
All
think
right,
so.
because I know he was going for a checkup. It was talking about maybe some loose bodies in the elbow or something like that. If it's something you can clean up, okay, then you're all right. But, I'm just a big Eury Perez guy. I'm a big believer. I feel like everybody forgets how dominant he was when he came up at 20 years old. And it was a long time. And last year, came back a little slow, but eventually looked pretty good. And I think he's going to be in that mix where we're going to talk about him with Skeens and Scooble and those guys. Like, I think he's got that kind of potential. I don't think that's hyperbole.
No, he does. He does for sure.
All right. So this was fun. It was good to talk to everybody and see everybody here again. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but we're going to do a lot more of them in season. So again, subscribe to the channel because you might win yourself the incredible Trophy Smack trophy here. And this is really cool for your fantasy baseball league. So if you're going to win something cool for the league, this is it. You pass it around, make everybody significant other miserable that this is in the front of their living room. That's what fantasy sports is all about. Damn it. Don't forget about Hard Rock Bet too. Go place your first bet of $5. If you win, you get 150 in bonus bets and your winnings at Hard Rock Bet. And most importantly, join us next week, Wednesday, March 11th, 3 p.m. Eastern for the Fantasy Pros Fantasy Fest. 4 hours of fantasy baseball, friendship, and fun. All of the above here. It's going to be a great show. We're going to want you to be a part of it as always. And Joe Orrico, it was great seeing you on a fun Friday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. It's the best time of year. I'm watching WBC tonight. That's what I'm watching. What are you watching the USA game and rooting against us after the hockey? Is that what you're doing?
I'm always rooting for Canada, but I'm going to be working tonight because this time of year, man, you can't even catch your breath. You can't even catch my breath. It's like the old James Cagney movie, 1, 2, 3. You're just constantly on the run, constantly moving. That is March.
You're a young man to be making a James Cagney reference.
He's my favorite actor.
I make old references. Like, I've seen all those Cagney movies, but you guys all call me old all the time.
I'm the old soul here. You're used to Erickson and those guys not knowing what Seinfeld is, okay? You got to get used to the program.
I do enjoy that about you. You're an old soul. I do. But the weird thing about Erickson that always throws me off is he makes a bunch of dad jokes all the time.
Yeah.
And he's constantly making dad jokes. And I'm like, dude, you don't even have kids yet. He's getting a dog, though. So
getting old.
There you go. First step.
We're all getting old.
All right, that'll do it for us. On that note, can't do it better than the James Cagney reference, so I'm not even going to try. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Joe Orrico, I'm Joey B. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your weekend. Go baseball. Hooray for baseball. Woohoo! James Cagney reference.
He's my favorite actor.
Squash a grapefruit in your face now, James Cagney style.
I wish you were wishing well, Joe, so I could tie a bucket to you and sink you.
Yeah, there you go. Look at you. 20s gangster at heart. Joe Orrico, everybody.
I am. That's me. That's me.